Hey everybody, and welcome to the Lonestar Halo Show. My name is Fernando. Of course, I'm the Lonestar Halo. We got Todd, and we're joined here by Jeff Bates. And he's going to help us preview the Texas Rangers and Angels series. Todd, how does it feel to be outnumbered by two Texans right now?
I'm very intimidated, guys. Very intimidated.
As it should.
Don't mess with Texas. Jeff, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Jeff. I love baseball. I love the Texas Rangers. I've been to plenty of Angels games back when I was a Southern California native, and I did not have an earthquake today. So that's good.
See, you're one-upping me again, guys.
That's fair. Yeah, no. Well, I guess that'll give you some sympathy with the people, right? They won't immediately be like, "Oh, why is this guy on?" Okay, he went to some Angels games. Oh, so what was your honest opinion of the ballpark out there? Did you like it?
You talking to me about your ballpark?
Yeah,
I love it. Now I'm old. It's been a while. Are you guys old enough to know who Stu Nahan is?
Yes.
I sat in Stu Nahan's seats. I don't even know how I got him. A buddy gave him to me and whatever. And boy, I remember that was the first game I took my wife to. Didn't know I was going to tell this story tonight. And the person directly in front of me, but one over to my left, got whacked with the bat. And look at those seats were, and got taken away. So yeah, wifey is still waiting for me to take her to a ball game with seats that good. But I love that ballpark. I loved it when Disney owned it. I loved it when they put in the rocks. Shoot, I loved it back in the old days with the big old A. Come on, a ball game right next to Disneyland. That's a pretty good weekend right there.
Yeah. So you'll get some points for sure from the audience.
Yeah, you go to Stu Nahan. That's a deep dive in KTLA news. Then plus he did Rocky movies. So
that's right. Look at you.
I know my guys.
I love it. Representing the old people.
Absolutely. I'm not as young as I look. Trust me.
Well, I'm as old as I look, unfortunately.
I didn't say it.
I did.
So Jeff, so you shared a little bit about your experience at the Big A. What made you a Rangers fan?
Moved out here. So I grew up, I was born in LA, West Covina, not too far from Whittier. West Covina, California was where I popped out, but I grew up in San Diego. So when I was in kindergarten, we moved down there. My grandmother was a Dodgers fan, so I was a Dodgers fan from day one. Went to a lot of Angels games, went to a lot of Dodgers games, but lived in San Diego, went to a bunch there. Moved out here being Texas in 2011, I think. I don't want to lie to anybody. Somewhere around there when TCU was really good in football. Pretty sure that was 2011. Whatever. And, I still root for the Dodgers, very honestly. But not as much as my Rangers. It's just easier to be a fan of the team that's out here. And yes, when the Rangers beat the Dodgers this October in the World Series, yes, that's what I predicted in March, and so I'll stick with it. I will be a happy guy. But did I ever root for the Angels? No. Matter of fact, I'm still annoyed every time you guys beat us in the Freeway Series, which you seem to do every year. But I've been to games there, and it's hard not. I'm old. Brian Downing, Bobby Grich. I liked a lot of guys that were Angels, but they were never my team. So,
did you like the old? Did you like the old Arlington Stadium, or between this stadium now, the new one? I forget the name of it, but did you like Arlington better?
Yeah. So if you look at it on TV from the outside, it's gorgeous. If you sit down in it, you're an actual lobster. So the beauty of it, 100% gorgeous. But I will fight anyone tooth and nail about this. I love the new ballpark. It is amazing. Now, does it look like a weird barn from the outside? Yeah, I don't care what it looks like. I want to know what it looks like from the inside, and I want the air conditioning pretty please. And here's the truth. I want air conditioning for me, but Marcus Semien, John Gray, Andrew Haney, Corey Seager, Bruce Bochy, Jacob deGrom, none of them sign in Texas without that roof on that ballpark. So I love that place. I love rings. I mean, this is my wedding ring, but you know what I mean? I love rings, and it would never have happened without that roof. So I'm in love with that new ballpark.
I've been pretty critical of it. I've been in 19 Major League Baseball stadiums, and Globe Life Field is number 14 on the list.
I watched the Rangers in 2023 win the World Series. That's number one on my list. That never would have happened with no roof. I mean, that's where I stand.
I'll give you that.
I mean, if you want a picture postcard, okay, the old one's going to win, but I would like World Series championships, please.
I'm still blown away. Ron had those guys in the World Series despite that heat and humidity come August and September. That's just how good the Rangers were those 2 years they went back to back.
they had some offense then. It'd be nice to have some of that this year.
And one thing I got to play off that one real quick, Fernando. I had a quick question because this one has always bugged me as an Angel fan and bugged me as far as like our, because again, as Angel fans, I kind of lean towards old school, kind of hating the Red Sox and hating the Dodgers just because they're the Dodgers, and being the redheaded stepchild. But we don't have that in our division, at least what the Angels do. I know you guys have Houston, but who do you just like? Because as Angel fans, I really can't root against or really hate Oakland, really hate Texas or Seattle because we've never faced you guys in the postseason or even Houston. Yeah. So I don't really consider those guys true rivals as we would if we had any kind of history in the postseason. But you guys, however, have at least a geographical rivalry with Houston. But do you consider Seattle or us or Oakland true rivals?
Houston.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, same thing.
Especially because of 2023, that was a very, very heated ALCS.
Well, so can I tell a little story?
Of course.
So 2017, the year of the trash can, is that the right year? Right. Mm-hmm. I have 4 daughters. I've got a bunch of grandkids, and we go to Disney a lot. I go to Walt Disney World. Game 7 of the World Series is that we were driving out there because we got kids, so we didn't fly. So we drove out there and we stop in Tallahassee to watch, so I can watch Yu Darvish get absolutely torched against the Astros. I didn't know that was going to happen, but that's what happens. Okay, and then we drive down the rest of the way. The next day, I'm coming off of Pirates of the Caribbean, and the whole world is there. And I'm like, what's going on? I asked Mr. Walt Disney World Park guy, hey, what's going on? Oh, the Astros parade is going on. So I walk another couple feet. Jose Altuve, Springer, and a couple other dudes on a I don't know what's it called, a Disney
parade, float, if you will.
Oh, thank you. And it's burned into my brain and my retinas. And I didn't know then what I know now, that the cheating cheaters were cheating. So I have enough hate for the Astros for you and me, everybody. Total. But yeah, you're right. The Angels have kind of always had the Dodgers as the most obvious rival, and it doesn't really matter because NL West, AL West have almost nothing to do with each other.
Because I can't think of any other time than the Angels facing the Mariners in the 1-game playoff.
Yeah.
That any of the AL West teams have ever faced each other, because they never send more than one team to the postseason, even in the wild card era.
Well, and not to take a shot, but you guys haven't been good since we basically baseball has expanded the playoffs. I mean, what was the year where you guys, Socha, Dodger, but I loved Socha.
Oh yeah, I did too.
That was a great run there. I don't know what year that was, but
2014.
No, 2002 was the last World Series, but 2014, yeah, you're right, Fernando, was the last time we were in the
playoff. I know that's when.
But 02, when Barry Bonds hit that ball that's still going, really, you guys have had a rough run of it, and I think you're obviously ascending right now. There's going to be I think there's a chance for some rivalries to come about. I'd love to see those Astros, float away and it'd be the Rangers and the Angels, but we'll see.
I have a lot of friends. Obviously, I've been living in the Metroplex. A lot of my friends are Rangers fans, or my girlfriend's family, they're Rangers fans. They told me that they hate the Angels because they remember 2009 when the Angels were on their run of success from 2002 to 2009, where we were making AL West after AL West. They were like, "Oh man, the Angels used to always kick our ass for that half decade."
Yeah, maybe.
So they still have pinned up feelings from that. And now, here we are, 15 years later. And I'm like, well, we're not on the same run now.
I think part of it for the Rangers is, it's almost disrespectful how we look at you guys because, the Josh Hamilton thing, the CJ Wilson thing, you guys have signed some of our guys away from us and then it didn't work out so well. So it's I think it's coming. I really do. I mean, I'm not just saying it because we're on this topic. I think the Angels come on. You got Neto, you've got Hoppe, you've got some studs that are 12 years old. I mean, they're going to be around for a while.
Yeah, more.
Well, as do you guys, right? I mean,
yeah, I think so.
You have Wyatt Langford coming up, Kumar Rocker, just to name a couple guys. We're going to get into it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Rangers. I was talking to my boss about it today. The window wasn't even supposed to open until last year, right? You won 1 year ahead of schedule, and
exactly.
Bruce Bochy teams. That's what Bruce Bochy teams do. This World Series hangover hit you guys hard because once again, Bruce Bochy teams. But you can never count a Bruce Bochy team out. You guys are the team to beat. Todd and I both predicted the Rangers to win the AL West. That hasn't changed. Being unbiased, the Rangers are the team to beat.
I agree, but even though I'm a Ranger fan, I say that more out of, well, I guess it's a little bit of both. I do like our roster, but I think it's more about the AL West. I mean, we're not the AL Central. We're not that far away. I mean, the A's are ascending, you guys are ascending, but I don't think either of you are going to get there yet. I think the Astros are on the downslope. I love saying that. And Seattle, they just swept us, so I guess it'll be nice, but I thought they couldn't hit. Cal Raleigh apparently didn't like you saying that.
But it's early, and I'm a sports fan of Seattle only because my Sonics and Seahawks, but I hate the Mariners. But I know how they complain about the Mariners. They tend to fade out after July, especially hitting wise. Pitching wise are really good. But I gotta say one thing to your what you brought up, those old players that we took from you. You kind of got us back. I mean, we got Gary Matthews Jr. who didn't help work out, and then also you guys got Napoli from us. You had Benji Molina on those runs. So you guys got us back.
Well, and if you want to go into the deep cuts, Benji Gill. I'm a big fan of him. Well, I played against him in high school, actually, and big fan of him at the WBC, and he lives out here, but he's, pretty well known in the Angels world.
Absolutely.
He's a guy who should have got a manager spot by now. But
I thought he was the obvious play when they went with Ron Washington. I mean, you know what?
We wanted Benji Gill too.
Yeah, you should. I don't know why he doesn't have a gig. I love the guy. I think he would be perfect. I bet he's got I think he has Team Mexico for the WBC again, and so maybe he's going to get something after that.
Isn't he managing a Mexican league team right now? Maybe in Jalisco. Yeah. So the Cleburne Railroaders, obviously, that's like 20 minutes from my house.
Another deep cut. I like it.
Yeah. For any of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine. You can be confused. Yeah. They're going to be here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Benji Gill's going to be there. So I thought about going. I'm thinking about going. I mean, it's a couple minutes from my house. It's like $10 to get in there. And he's signing autographs. So I'm very.
I haven't been to a game there yet. I don't want to bore everybody with that detail. But that'd be fun. And I'm a big Benji Gill fan. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think he should get a gig. I think he might be on the short list. Albert Pujols' name is getting thrown out there a lot.
I'll tell you,
I'm sure he's on the short list.
I'm going to make all the Ranger fans that maybe come to the show a little annoyed here, but Ron Washington could easily be done after this year, and Benji Gill would be the first name on my who's going to get that gig list. I mean, just makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Todd would agree with that.
Yeah. And then speaking of managers, going back to Bochy, Fernando brought that up. Take us through how surprised you were that the Rangers got him first off, because everyone assumed he was retired, and then second, did you think it was going to work out, and were you really surprised it worked out so fast?
So I grew up in San Diego. I went to plenty of spring trainings. I went to the same junior college as Bochy's son. Huge Bochy fan. Was annoyed, even though I was never a Padre fan. That's where I lived. Was annoyed when he went to San Francisco because, as a former Dodgers fan, I hate the Giants with almost as much hate as I have for the Astros. But yeah, elite Hall of Fame manager, one of the best I've ever seen deal with the bullpen. The day that Bochy signed, I was shocked. I was driving. I was in Saginaw, Texas. That's where I was, outside of the high school right there. And I stopped and I called my wife. I said, "We just got Bochy. I'm buying season tickets." And then I didn't, because I'm lazy. And then we signed DeGrom, and I bought season tickets that night. And so I thought it would turn around. Now, did I think we were ready? No, I thought we were ascending. I think I've said that word a few times tonight, but it happened because, well, a lot of things came together, obviously. And some luck and some awesome play in the postseason, but Bochy got us there. There's no way that happens without Bochy. I will probably, in general, underrate managers' roles. I think there's a lot in the process and the culture and all that, but in the end, the players are the players, and you got to put the guys in the right spot. Bochy is, I don't know, WAR is, if it's the best stat. If we had WAR for managers, he'd be leading the league. I think I really mean that, or certainly among the league leaders. Bochy knows what he's doing.
Was he, in your opinion, if you had to put a number on it, does he go more by analytics, or is it more gut with him?
I would say it's a little bit of both. I mean, he's obviously moving into analytics more and more every year because he's old enough that that wasn't a thing back then. But if you asked him, and I've been there when he's been asked this, he would say he's a little bit of both. He's probably thought of as more old school than he probably is. I think he's part of baseball, and if you're in baseball, data matters. The math matters. I mean, I'm writing an article right now. Texas Rangers Twitter, X, whatever we want to call it, is flipping their lid today, saying Dustin Harris should be in instead of Jock Peterson. I am vehemently on that is a stupid idea, train, and that'll be what my article is that I'll post a little bit later. But I think that the overreaction to what happens. Well, what are we? Are we? We're not even
3 weeks into the season,
right? Yeah. I mean, so I don't know. I'm going a little bit all over the place here, but I think to get flat on to Bochy, I think he's underrated, and that's hard to say of somebody who I think is a Hall of Famer. And I don't think I'm answering your question very well, but that's what we're bringing up.
Yeah, I mean, arguably in my generation, I mean, I'm 30 years old. He's the best manager I've seen in my lifetime. I grew up in San Diego, so I grew up watching him manage some very, very bad Padres teams. Yeah. Let's call it what it is,
and do a good job with them.
Yeah, and to an extent, so did Bud Black. Bud Black, obviously, also another Angels pitching coach when we won the World Series. Also got a very, very unfair shake of it in San Diego. The Padres just had terrible ownership, for the greater part of my lifetime. It wasn't until very recently. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys, you are the Angels fans. If Ron Washington leaves your employ, which I suspect he will by the end of this year, who do you want? Who would be number one on your list? If Bochy was available, would it be him?
Oh, yeah, 100%. If Bochy was available, I could stop you there. It doesn't matter who the hell else is available. Exactly. If he was willing and able, I mean, Todd, there isn't anyone who is more capable than Bruce Bochy if he was willing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you want a manager, because I don't want a manager that's 100% on analytics. I still like that old school feel. I still like the guy that will call a pitch out, that will call, a hit and run, off the cuff, not just because they say upstairs. So that's how I feel about it. Yeah.
Stats matter, but stats are looking backwards. I mean, Bochy knows what, I don't know, Jock Peterson's feeling today. He knows that he's having a fight with his wife, or he knows that, he's got a little owie that we know about. I mean, the analytics matter, but they're really a history lesson. They're not looking forward. It's not a crystal ball. This is what's happened in the past. What's going to happen now? Well, there's so many things that go into it that have nothing to do with past performance.
If I was running a team and had a manager that was a lifer like Bochy, or just, an all around, well of traversed manager in the big leagues over the years, I would have all the analytics ready for him in paperwork or on his laptop or whatever he has, a tablet, and let him decide what he wants to use or not use. And I trust him. I hired him for a reason.
Exactly, Todd. Exactly.
We had Heath Bell on our podcast.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, so we had him a couple months ago.
Speaking of podcast,
he was exactly. That was the perfect segue. And he had mentioned the numerous conversations he'd had with Bruce Bochy, and Bruce Bochy said if any of those guys upstairs have anything to pitch, give him the piece of paper, and he'll make a decision based off of that. You know what I mean? Not solely off of that, but he'll use that to support his decisions, right? Like you said. Eventually, hey, Jock Peterson is going to be due. He's faced his pitcher before. He's got a gut feeling that Jock Peterson is going to have a breakout game. Great. And also, for any Rangers fans who are watching this, okay, this is week 3 of the season. If you guys signed Jock Peterson expecting this guy to be batting .280, driving 100 RBIs, you were only kidding yourself, okay? Jock Peterson is a .240 hitter. That is what he is. He's going to give you good defense. He is going to drive in runs, and he is a name in the lineup that scares people. He is a protection kind of guy. Look at Jorge Soler on the Angels, right? The guy's batting like what is it right now? Like 220?
230.
Yeah. The guy's a .240 hitter, but he's going to drive in about 80 to 90 runs. He's going to get about 25 to 30 home runs. Yeah. You don't sign Adam Dunn expecting to get a guy who's going to hit for batting average. These guys have roles on a team, right? And every team needs that. You need a threat. If Mike Trout was literally the only guy on the team, there was no Zach Neto, Nolan Chanuel, nothing. It was literally just Trout and a bunch of high schoolers. They're going to intentionally walk Trout every single time. A guy like Jock Peterson could provide some protection for, I know Semien and Seager are higher in the lineup. Jock Peterson, what's he been batting, like 7th or 8th this year?
Well, he was hitting 4th until he hit 5th last night. He's probably going to be 5 or 6, I would think. I like what you're saying. If you look at the Rangers lineup last year, we had a huge hole at DH. We had no power from lefties, right-handed fastballs we couldn't touch. So what did we do? We brought in Jake Berger. We brought in Jock Peterson. They both mash high fastballs, one from the right side, one from the left side. It's going to work, but right now they're both hitting they're not hitting water falling out of a boat right now, but they will. Peterson hit Berger hit, I think, 31 last year. Peterson had a 2.9 WAR, the most or second most of his career. These are good major league ball players. Berger's ascending for sure. Peterson might have had his best years already, but he's going to be, it's a 2-year contract. He's going to be fine. We need to let him work it out. Nobody hits. Joe DiMaggio is not in that lineup. He's not in the locker room. Peterson is obviously the right DH against right-handed pitchers for this roster. And people were talking about JD Martinez. A, not happening. B, it's right-handed. We don't need that. Roster construction matters. Jock Peterson fits perfectly. He's just hitting 039 or whatever the heck he's hitting.
And also, Rangers fans, you're winning. Who cares? You guys are winning ball games. Sometimes, you know what? Every team needs a designated vibes guy, right? You need the guy for the vibes. Jock Peterson wins everywhere he goes. Say what you want about him, but the guy is a winner. We actually almost got Jock Peterson, right?
Should have had him. Already nixed the deal.
That was 2020. We almost got him and Ross Stripling. Probably a good thing we didn't get Ross Stripling because he basically fizzled into irrelevancy after that trade. Never had another good year, I don't think. But,
pitchers are tough. Pitchers. Reed Detmers. We can talk about Reed Detmers.
You guys want him?
He threw a no-hitter for you guys. He almost threw a no-hitter against us. I was at the game where I think he was 5 outs away from a no-hitter.
Was that the game that Ohtani homered in the first inning?
Probably.
Yeah, I think I was at that game.
Every time Ohtani comes to Globe Life, he hits one to the moon. It's insane. My point is, what happened to him? Pitchers fizzle.
Well, the problem with him is he's deer in the headlights, and he does not have that killer mentality. Yeah, Detmers will get into a mode where he'll give you 2 or 3 starts where you're like, okay, finally he's arrived. And then something gets to him, whether it's off the field or on the field at a certain situation, and he just rolls over. He just doesn't have the moxie. I think at some point he needs to go somewhere else like Sandoval or Canning as well.
Canning's having a great year right now with the Mets. I know the season just started, but man.
Yeah, he's off to a good start. I will say something too about how just to finish up on Ron real quick on Washington. I see him when he managed the Rangers, it looked like he was in control of everything. I know that was pre-analytics taking over in baseball, but when he manages with the Angels, I think he takes control over pitching decisions as far as in game and whether or not to hook somebody, who to bring in. But I do see him bowing down a little bit when it comes to lineups and things of that nature. And I wish we had the Texas Ranger run there. And as far as the Rangers, I will ask you this, Jeff. And it's kind of last year reminded me of the 2003 Angels. After they won the World Series, they really didn't add anybody. They just run it back, and they faded away. All that magic was gone. Kind of walked through the season before they retooled in 2004. And I think you guys didn't really retool a lot, but you did enough to where the division last year looked out of sight for you guys at some point. This year, I like you guys a lot in the division.
Well, how will I answer that? I like what we did this past offseason a lot more than the previous offseason. And
correct.
It's going to be tough. What a good problem to have. But when you win it all, before you really thought you were going to be in the mix even, probably hard to decide what you want to do, how you want to handle it. The roster it just looks to me as a Rangers fan and a baseball fan primed to be good now. And they did get a ring in 2023. So let's just take that as, dessert before the meal or something. But I think we've got 4 or 5 years of probably being
of a window.
Yeah, of a window. Well said. And if we're not the favorite for a couple of years, I'll be shocked in the AL West. And who knows what's going to happen? The games happen on the field. They don't happen in, articles written by people who are sitting on a couch. But I like what I see. I like our prospects. Leiter, come on. Rangers fandom gave up on Jack Leiter 3 years earlier than they should have. Look at that draft. Nobody but your first baseman was doing anything from that first round until, your first baseman. And now Jack. I think there might be another guy that I'm forgetting. But my point is he should just be getting there now. And Rangers world kind of gave up on him. Kumar Rocker was a top 10 pick in the draft twice. He'll be okay, but he's still young and he doesn't have it harnessed. And we've got plenty of young guys that are coming. We also got a little bit of old. Up the middle, we got to fix that. I love Corey and I love Marcus Simeon, but they have to produce. The roster is built around them. Josh Young needs to stay healthy. We need Langford back. What the heck's going on with Evan Carter? Is Doley 2023 Doley, or is he 2024 Doley? I don't know. I don't know.
I have to give props to my co-host and the star of the show, Lone Star, because when you guys did get Seager and Simeon, everybody on our channel, including around the league shows, were like, "Hey, what are the Rangers doing?" And Fernando was like, "Dude, they're building." Like
middle baby.
They're gonna build around him. He was the only one that called it, because even I was like, that's a stupid move.
Well, I was also the only one that said that they were gonna do anything in the I think I called it like in April. I'm like, the Rangers are a playoff team, and Todd was like, no, they're gonna fall off. They're gonna fall off. We have a whole year of YouTube and podcasts of him saying, they're gonna fall off. They're gonna fall off. And I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, you wait, and that's. I didn't think we were going to win the World Series.
I don't know that I was calling for the World Series win. I don't think anybody was.
Nobody was. I lived in the
Seager pickup. Come on, everybody wanted Seager. I don't know. It's
just because the talk outside of Ranger world was like, why Texas? Like they don't have pitching. That was the narrative. It was like, okay, so they got a couple power hitters, but this just reminds me of the Alex Rodriguez Rangers, where they just put a bunch of guys.
They spent $1 billion on two guys. You know what I mean?
Well, and they put $1 billion roof on the ballpark, and they got CY, and they got a plan. And really, what they did for the players, that locker room, that setup behind the scenes, that whole organizational shift with CY and Ray Davies, frankly, the owner, deciding, okay, I'm going to go all in. He's not all in right now. I wish you guys want to talk about the luxury tax. I might blow my top, but I love what they did. And Seager told the rest of the league, hey, come on.
Yeah.
Come look at what we have. I mean, we were in play for some guys. The payroll is in the top 10. The system is in the top, and I'm not talking about the minor league system. I'm talking about the system at the ballpark for the ball players is top 10. The guys love what they're doing there. They love CY, and I think the future is bright because of what they're doing with the organization. And I think Corey Seager leading the way. I mean, that is a Hall of Fame, probably shortstop. That's a 2-time World Series MVP. Coming here, he was high cachet. I mean, come on. He was Dodger World Series MVP. He was ascending. This guy brought a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Gravitas. I hate that word, but I guess I just said it. To hey, come check it out. I mean, Simeon signed like a day later, right? And Gray was like a week later. I mean, all of a sudden everybody's going, hey, what's going on in Texas? And they should.
Do you guys have a TV contract right now, by the way, or are you still in limbo with that with the MLB?
So no, we're doing what they're calling the Rangers Sports Network, and they're bringing it in house, and I think that is the answer. I think
it is.
I think MLB and or the local teams will bring those dollars in house, and that's the way it should be. That's what every major sport should do. I love, by the way, the Netflix thing on the Red Sox. I wish they were doing it this year, not next year. But why doesn't every team have one of those? They should. And it's
the Arizona Coyotes. So I was a big Arizona Coyotes fan. Rest in peace. And they were one of the first teams, I think, to truly do that. Yeah. They did it a couple years ago. Yeah, it was like whatever, $10 a month, and you were able to exclusively watch the games. There was no, in-market blackouts, because that's always the biggest thing. I mean, hey, there's sometimes
MLB's got to fix that, and they're about to.
Sports, it ruins sports. It's not just MLB, right? It's a sports issue. I remember living in San Diego, and I'm sure you do too, Jeff. You couldn't watch Charger games. I mean, I was a Broncos fan, so I didn't care. But, I mean, NBC 7 used to buy Chargers tickets, literally, and just give them away for free.
I remember
because the games would be blacked out if they didn't sell enough tickets. And San Diego, you're going to hate this, Jeff. San Diego is a minor league city. Terrible fans, fair weather fans. I don't care.
No, I don't hate that. You're right. And yeah. I was a Dodgers fan in San Diego. Yeah. I love San Diego for the beaches and the bikinis and the fish tacos. Yeah, but I've got a bunch of friends who are Padre nuts, and they're going to watch the show. So I'm talking to you. Show up, and let's be real. They are. My sister's a season ticket holder out in San Diego, and the world has shifted.
Well, they show up now, Jeff. But yeah. I remember going to 2012 when Chase Headley was your headliner, and there was nobody there. You couldn't get your mama to go to a Padres game. You know what I mean? Like, man, nobody was going to a Padres game.
I can go back farther than that. I'm older than you, and I could buy a ticket game time and walk up and sit front row in left field, but front row, and I did
at the queue.
Yeah, I love.
By the way,
the Murph.
By the way, Jeff, you know who checks in with us on the monthly during the baseball season?
Oh.
I'm sure you know this name, Hacksaw.
I love Lee Hamilton.
Yeah, Lee Hamilton checks in with us and gives his baseball scoop.
I need him to yell, calling in from Lake Worth or whatever. I don't know. Whatever. I love that guy. I didn't even know he was still kicking around. That's
we'll do you a solid. How about he comes on our show like once a month? How about we get you to come on for
dude,
that?
I am not one of those guys who fan freaks out. Jenny McCarthy, Hacksaw Hamilton. Those are my two.
That's an odd combination.
Well, yeah, not for the same reason. But anyway, I listen to that guy more than I've ever listened to my wife, like by 100x.
Look him online on YouTube. He still does a daily show, believe it or not, same kind of style as he did at Extra Sports 690.
Love it.
But yeah, I think Fernando's got a great idea. We'd love to have you on when Hacksaw joins us.
I'm in, dude. I'll stop. Yes, please. Yes.
All right. Cool.
Can't believe I heard that name tonight. I love it.
So we'll try to hit the fast forward button here as we're at the 30-minute mark. I want to talk a little bit about the Rangers roster. Now, you had an interesting take that some of Rangers X really hated, right? It's about Patrick Corbin. So what's your opinion on Patrick Corbin and the Rangers bringing him in? So it seems like you still think he has something in the tank.
Absolutely. Free innings? Are you kidding me? Look at I don't know. It just depends on the listener, I suppose, right now, or the viewer, how much they know baseball. Okay. But Patrick Corbin is like, again, we talked about the analytics. You can look on the back of Patrick Corbin's baseball card and you might get nauseous. Okay. But that is not relevant to what he's going to do in 2025. And maybe he's going to get lit up. But how did I post? I don't want to argue with myself, but it was the 10th game of the year, I think. And the Rangers were using their 8th on the depth chart starter. Patrick Corbin is on the Rangers because Cody Bradford and John Gray are, well, they're not on the beach, but they're not on the roster either. He is I would have went with, Gibson. That's who I wanted, but he was 3x or 4x the money, and the Rangers aren't going to go over the luxury tax, which again is a whole nother conversation, and I can't stand that. But Davies and CY have said they want to stay under that. It's important for them to do that. We could go back to the the Rangers Sports Network, and there was no money last year from that. And now this money that they're getting this year will go to next year when we are under the cap's budget, right? But this year there's no money left. There's a very little bit, like $5 million or so at the half. 2.5 is what I think it was, which turns into about a $5 million contract if you get it at the halfway point. So Corbin was not free, but basically free. So is he going to give us 5 to 10 starts this year? Yeah. And who would you rather have had than Corbin if you're a Ranger fan start the other day? Hideki Irabu? He's not. Who are we going with? So I loved the signing. It's a free guy who I know can go 4 to 6 innings, 5 to 10 times. He's not going to win the Cy Young Award, but it's a great move for the team.
Yeah, so the best of ability is availability, right?
Yeah, so he's like a glorified long man, spot starter then.
I mean, the only stat that people should be looking at, and you just said it, Fernando, how many games start the last few years? I mean, that's what we're not looking for.
Yeah, every team needs that guy.
Yeah, I mean, we need Bradford, not pitching. Gray, not pitching. He's the 8th guy, and he's already he'll be pitching for the second time tomorrow night.
Oh, so he's
Wednesday.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say what? No, yeah. According to MLB, the Rangers haven't projected their starters yet. I have to go to ESPN and see what fan is.
They just one of the Ranger writers just put Jeff Wilson just said that Malley is going to go tomorrow, Corbin Wednesday, Kumar Thursday, which backs up DeGrom against probably Roki. So you probably Friday night get Roki versus DeGrom.
That'll be cool. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow and I'll be there Thursday.
So I'm there tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. Actually, I had tickets for Sunday and they're on SeatGeek right now because my wife said, "Hey, it's Easter." And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Sell your tickets."
You're not going.
I lost that. I didn't have it wasn't much.
If I could do a shameless plug, Jeff, 714 Tickets works in your neighborhood too. If you go there, the price you see is the price you get. They don't have any, surcharges or nothing.
I'm right.
Yeah, and if you put HITI in the promo code, which stands for Halos in the Infield, you get 10% off your tickets.
Got my ticket on Thursday for that.
I was going to ask about HITI, so now I don't have to. There you go.
Yeah,
I like
it. Yeah, there you go.
So as we keep on, by the way, are you on a time crunch or anything?
Me, no.
Okay, cool. So I want to keep picking a little bit away at the Texas Rangers roster, but the big guy I want to bring up, Wyatt Langford. Obviously a name that a lot of Angels fans probably won't recognize, but he is one of the most exciting guys. Well, I mean, exactly. We have a very knowledgeable fan base here. Obviously, you don't listen to a baseball podcast if you don't love baseball.
Yeah.
But catch our fans up, please.
We won the lottery with that guy, man. So I love the draft. I love the NFL draft coming up in a couple of weeks. I love the MLB draft. For me, he was the number one pick. Now, Skeens, Langford, those are the two guys that I was projecting number one, and lots of prospecting, writers were doing the same. Cruz had a lot of buzz. Jenkins had a lot of buzz. Who am I forgetting? Max Clark had a lot of buzz. But for me, I was ecstatic when they got that pick at 4 and when Wyatt fell to them. Okay, you could get Livy Dunn and Paul Skeens. I got to say he's going to be the number one pick. But after that, Wyatt Langford's going to be the guy that we're going to look back on in that draft, in my never so humble opinion. He's elite. Now, he's hurt right now. Projections are 30-30. I think that's a little aggressive for a guy as young as him, but he's a masher. I love his bat. I love his speed. He's going to be second to Bobby Witt in infield hits over the next couple of years, in my never so humble opinion. Write it down. This guy beats out the little numbers, and he blasts, second deckers. Hit for the cycle last year. I love him. And by the way, his defense is going to get good. Will he be a Gold Glover? Maybe not. But he didn't play much outfield, even at the University of Florida. He's just learning. And he was a catcher. 3 years ago, 4 years ago? I don't want to lie, but not that long ago. This guy is really, really good, and I think the sky's the limit. We got another guy, if you want to talk prospects, Sebastian Walcott. I don't know where they're going to play him next year, but he's going to be playing next year. I think Dolly probably finishes one more year with us, and then probably they let him go into free agency, and I think he goes over to right field, unless we lose Josh Young to another injury or something. But that's two big bats that I see being superstars in this league, and one could be a top 5 player in the league.
So let me ask you this. So let's just say, Adolis Garcia is last year was like a 220 hitter. Got into the home run derby. I was there. I'm sure you might have been too.
I was.
Got in there obviously just as a hometown guy. But if the Rangers are doing well and he's still batting 220 and he's really starting to look like 2024 Adolis Garcia, what are the odds the Rangers just dump him now to try to get something for him, just knowing that they really don't need him and he's not part of the long-term plan?
0. I think there's no chance they get rid of him. There's nowhere. I mean, you could look at what's happening. I mean, it's April 14th as we're filming this, but the offense needs more, not less. And let's be real. One of my daughters, it's her favorite player. I love Dolis. Great guy. Unbelievable run in 2023. We'll never see that again. I mean, that was all-time stuff, but we need him to be at least WAR 0.0. I mean, we need him to be at least major league ready. He needs to at least give us 80 RBIs. He's projected himself at 30-30 this year. He said maybe he'll go 30-50 or 50-30. Look, give me 20-10. I'm not even going to talk about batting average. Give me above average defense, knock in 80, be our 5 or 6 hitter, stop swinging at every slider in the dirt away, and we've got a real good chance of being good. But if you take him out, Fernando, who do you put in there? Sebastian Walcott, who's 14 years old at AA, is not ready yet. Yeah. And he's the only other guy I see. I mean, Ranger fandom might be yelling at me about Dustin Harris. That's the article I'm writing right now. He ain't the guy. It's not. We don't have that bat. There's too much riding on Dolly. And the last thing I'll say on that is Major League Baseball knows that. I mean, Dolly has value, but he doesn't have a great return value. We're not going to get a ton for him. I'm making Ranger fans mad here, I know, but truth is truth.
Well, Chris Young, very much, he is an Ivy League guy, right? He is very much playing chess, clearly. I mean, look what happened with those signings we mentioned earlier. The guy's playing chess, everyone else is playing checkers.
Totally agree.
Todd and I have said many times, man, we love what Chris Young did. You have to tip your cap when a team does something the right way. They used free agency the way it was meant. Artie Moreno and the Angels have had a bad habit over the last decade of going for the sexy name, the big splash name. And that's not how you win in today's modern day baseball. It's not.
He's not trying to win. He's trying to create memories. He's not trying to win. And that's a problem.
He's trying to sell tickets, right? And when I was a kid, the Yankees were the evil empire, right? Because it was possible. You could buy championships back then. It doesn't exist anymore. You can't buy rings anymore. Yes, there's going to be people who make the argument, well, look what the Dodgers are doing. Okay, they've won 2 rings. So
what the Dodgers are doing is not a money play. It's not.
Yeah, that's
smart. Fair. It's not. I don't know how your guys' position on it, but I'll go to battle on that all day. They are the model, and anyone who doesn't see that.
Well, yeah, because they also have a good why am I blanking? Farm system. So it isn't even like they're just mortgaging the farm.
Well, and their culture. It's their culture. I mean, sure, they're going to go spend money, but that ain't it. There's no evidence, first of all, that the team that spends the most money wins. There's evidence the contrary to that. But if you create the culture, if you make the guys want to play there, I mean, anybody could have got Teoscar for what they paid. Anybody could have got. I mean, let's just do it. I don't need to name the names. Roki went where he wanted to go.
Please don't. Our audience is going to.
You're right, but I mean, the truth is, how do you create? And I think the Rangers are trying to do that to bring it back to CY. How do you create a culture where the players want to come to your ballpark? Well, you put a roof on it. Let's start there. But you gotta get the right guys. I mean, what's going on with WBC right now? Aaron Judge is the question is he's going to be the captain. He didn't name that today. Are you going to recruit? Yeah, I'm going to recruit. You're creating a culture, and I think the Dodgers have done that, and I hope the Rangers are doing that. I definitely know they are. I don't think it's equal to the Dodgers, and I think that's part of what's going on in Anaheim.
Yeah, we wanted a hard reset. They never did it. I think they're doing a reset with style. So they're keeping players and building around. I think if, our biggest thing is, can Trout stay healthy? If he stays healthy, this team feeds off of him. You're getting other young kids coming in. You brought it up. I mean, we got a pretty good infield right now, but
sure do.
You got more on the come up. That's right there. Neto, when he comes in, is going to provide another bat. And then we'll actually have a log jam in the outfield and infield, which is not a bad thing. Our thing is right now, our bullpen is very, very suspect because we have so many young arms. Couple guys, especially free agent signing Stevenson, won't be back till June or July. Our hard throwing setup guy just went down, Joyce. So we're lacking in the bullpen aspect. With we've got a lot of deer in the headlight looks on that bullpen, but we're kind of surprised with our rotation. It's a bunch of 3s and 4s, but
I love Soriano.
Yeah. Soriano's on the ascent.
Underrated.
He could potentially be the A word one day. We say that a lot, ace, you have to earn that. There's not a lot of true aces in baseball right now.
He's going to be a positive for you. Whether he's the 1, the 2, or the 3, he's going to get you. I like him. I like your Todd, back to your bullpen. Do you want the Angels spending money on a bullpen this year? I don't think you do.
No.
Not this year.
I think that's the one thing. That's the one thing that we did not want to worry about too much. I think our thing was when there was Jack Flaherty out there. It's like, hey man, we paid way more for Kikuchi. Why can't we sign him? We wanted a late pickup like that to help further solidify the bullpen. Because I know, Jeff, you remember this guy, but
the starting rotation.
Yeah, the rotation. I'm sorry, but I bet you remember this guy, Jeff. Soriano reminds me a lot of Kelvin Escobar.
Oh wow, well, I mean I would say that's high praise. I mean, he was a good starter. He was a good closer even there for a little bit. I don't know. Now that I think about it, though, I might even like Soriano a little more. I like him. I mean, I've seen him throw. I really like what you guys have. I love your first round draft pick last year. I love Neto. I love your first baseman. I love your catcher. I see a lot of talent. And back to the bullpen thing, I don't think you want a bullpen yet. You want a bullpen next year and the year after. And you can buy yourself a bullpen. The free agency, you can buy yourself a bullpen. You can. I mean,
you can make a bullpen of the waiver wire and have success. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, pitching is so there's too many ebbs and flows with bullpen pitching. You know what I mean? You really
and the dudes are throwing such filth now, so hard and with such tilt. And you're the best reliever in the league might not even be good now. I mean, look at the Cleveland Guardians. They went a long way on what might have been the best bullpen of our lifetime. And will they have that this year? I don't know. Will they have it next year? No, it's just not the way it is.
Well, not what we did to them. We kind of destroyed their bullpen, which I was shocked.
Well, and it's a different bullpen than it was last year. That's my point. Like, you can go get, and let's be real, it's not even 5 guys. You can get 12 or 15 guys and give everybody a couple months and be filthy. So anyway, my point is the bullpen matters more than it ever has, but it's not some place to spend money. Like, the Ranger fans were and still are freaking out about what's going on. I mean, sure, David Robertson's still out there, and that would have been nice to bring him back. And, I even thought maybe Kenley would come this way. But the truth is, Luke Jackson and some names that aren't sexy are probably the right play for this roster here in Texas. But anyway, we're going down a rabbit hole a little bit. But I really like what the Angels are doing. I don't think they're a playoff team this year, but crazier things have happened. I mean, they're in first place right now.
I was just hoping they get to 81 wins. I'd be happy with that kind of improvement.
Todd and I have said that the best case scenario for the Angels this year is that they're playing meaningful games at the end of August, bleeding into September. If they can do that, because, I mean, we said it before, this is going to be one of the weaker divisions in baseball. And that's not a disrespect to the other teams on there. No, I think the Rangers are definitely the team to beat, at least at where we stand right now, the very big, pretty early on still in the season. But this is going to be where maybe no team wins 90 games. I could even see that happening, or maybe the Rangers squeak 92 games. But we probably don't have an 100-game winner in this division. No, I don't see that happening.
I'd be shocked if there was a 100-game winner in this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, with the teams in the East and Central, I mean, for God's sakes, how long has the Central been bad? And last year you had so many teams in the Central make it. I mean, even the Twins.
And now the Tigers are one of the teams to beat out of nowhere, seemingly.
Yeah, Kansas City's pretty solid. So,
I like a lot of what Kansas City did, but Bobby Witt's a stud, but why are you throwing to him right now? I don't understand that lineup at all. I think that I like their pitching. I like maybe even their bullpen. I don't like the chances of Bobby Witt getting many strikes. I just don't. I don't know. I think that maybe Vinny's better than I think he is. I think he's got a cool nickname and he's streaky, but I don't see enough there. I see Detroit being above average and probably the cream of the crop. I mean, Cleveland does it every year. I worry about that bullpen and not that they're not great, but they were elite plus last year. They're not going to be elite plus this year. So the Central's available, but back to your Halos. As a Rangers fan, I fear them moving forward more than, I'm not talking about 2025, but more than I'm going to fear Houston in a couple of years. I even think I like what the A's are doing. I don't think there's enough pitching there yet, so I'm not worried about them, but they've got some guys that I really like that they can build around. And Seattle, if they could pull their out of their and get some hitting, you add 2 bats and they're the best team in the West like that. I mean, that pitching is insane.
If they even had average or offense, I think they'd be one of the best teams in baseball. I mean, their pitching, their starting rotation is arguably the best in the AL. I can see you making an argument for that. So that's what I'm saying. Even if you had competent hitting there.
I mean, when Kirby comes back, I don't know. It's pretty filthy. I mean, the Rangers made him look pretty good. I'll tell you that this last 3 games.
The Poto's been handcuffed by the whole, their Root Sports stuff up there, and then the ownership as well. They've kind of tag teamed him because obviously, I mean, that was the team. If you had to look at everyone free agency wise in the offseason, you're like, okay, what team desperately needs a bat? It's like the first team that pops up is Seattle.
Yeah.
And the fact that they didn't do anything, it's easy. I have a lot of friends that like are Seahawk fans. And they're Mariner fans as well. And I always hear it from them. It's like, dude, how did we not do anything in the offseason? So
but here's the thing. There's so many teams right now, Todd, that are I almost don't even give people the free pass because there are so many teams right now that are handcuffed because of not making a profit right now for the TV revenue money. Eventually it's going to come. Maybe it's not this year.
And me and Fernando have been about it. It's like, okay, you may take a loss up front, but say, for instance, being in the circumstance of not having any money, if you build it on the field, they will come. And, so if you pack out the stadiums, the law of averages, you'll make that money up in the long run. It's just that initial bite in your wallet. But
let me say this. Okay, the TV revenues have been a mess for a few teams. There's no doubt about that. I can't deny that. But there is evidence that proves that everyone is printing money in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
They all are insanely profitable. The Padres were newsworthy was it 2 years ago? Because they were the first team in forever that was in trouble financially. Mm-hmm. So if that's news, what does that tell you? Also, Vladimir Guerrero just got 325. They structured it very well. He got 500, but he got 325 more than guaranteed, like guaranteed plus. Like if we lock you out, we're still going to pay you, Vladdy. That's what they did. And I think it's just silly to think that these guys who own these teams, whether it be a corporation or an individual, they are making a ton. And they're having their good old boy club is putting pressure on each other. We're going to lock them out at the end of next year. Let's not go crazy. Okay, Vladdy gets 500 million. Okay, Soto gets 765. I mean, they're making a ton. And I wish they would get rid of this luxury tax thing. I wish they would be more honest. I wish they would play to win. The Pirates and the A's and the Marlins are making a mockery of the system. And I think you guys have a weird one. Artie is probably a heck of a nice guy who is just off. Well, let me give you my 2 cents and then you guys tell me. I mean, you guys are closer to it than me. But my take on Artie is he is who he says he was. He's not trying to win as much as you guys probably want. He wants to, his words, have people say, I saw Trout. I saw Ohtani. And it was about, he wants to have the Mickey Mantle played for my team memories created. I don't know why that's his position, but that's what he said about Ohtani. I have no idea why you guys didn't trade him, but yes, I do. He wanted to have one more year of Ohtani. I mean, he's just a really nice guy, and maybe that's not what you need in an owner's chair.
Yeah. Well, we could talk off air about that.
Yeah, we'll agree to disagree on that one. Big time.
I would like to.
Yeah, bad guy for sure. But yeah, so we'll
ask the mayor, the former mayor of Anaheim, what he thinks behind federal prison walls. What he thinks of Artie.
Wow, you guys, I love that you guys. Okay, this is good stuff. Yeah, is it a she? They just went and had a conversation, right? Tried to.
Yeah, the new current mayor is a she.
I just saw that the other day. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the Brody Brazil video. So free plug of Brody Brazil. Love Brody Brazil. Been trying to get him on the show forever.
They've been having trouble with Disney and the politics of Southern California and the Angels for decades.
Yeah, exactly. There was a long time where they were just Anaheim was somehow anti-Disney. And I'm like, guys, you guys should get it whenever the hell they want. I'm not saying that corporations should get away with whatever they want, right? You know, they do have to play by city rules, but also people only go to Anaheim because of Disneyland, right?
I'll just say this: Texas and Southern California look at the world differently through different colored eyes, and that's where I'm going to leave that.
All I know is that Gene Autry had a great relationship with them, and that's the only reason why Disney snagged us there for a while. Because I remember growing up as a kid, they would have Disney days at Anaheim Stadium, and I missed that because at the time when me and Fernando talked about this a bunch. Yeah, see, there you go. When Disney owned the Angels, a lot of us, we got made fun of, because the Periwinkle jerseys and all that stuff. It looked
love those jerseys.
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple behind me, but yeah, I mean, we didn't appreciate what we had. Believe me, when it comes to Disney and Artie, it's not on the same level.
I agree. No, I'm not. Again, don't hear me saying I think he's a good owner. I think he's probably a nice grandpa, and I think he wants to create memories for kids rather than create a good roster. And I find that interesting and kind of sad. But
he is all about the
productive also.
Yeah. I want to hear what you have to say afterwards.
Okay, yeah. Well, first, I'll just tell you afterwards. Forget it.
Yep.
All right. I guess the last quick thing I got for you. So I was at the Rangers versus Rays game when Jacob deGrom was pitching on a Saturday night, probably a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Man, I was very surprised to see Kevin Pillar. I didn't know you guys signed him. Just the fourth outfielder for you guys, kind of what Travis Jankowski was.
I would say he's He's 3L. He's the center fielder against lefties. Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Leote is a left-handed hitter who thinks he's a switch hitter, and Pilar can still rank against lefties. You guys have him. He still hits lefties well above a major league average, still above average defensively. I actually love him. The story is that you guys probably know it pretty well. He retires and then he gets a big horse ranch about 30 minutes from Globe Life and makes the call and said, I wasn't going to play unless it was perfect, but he wants to see his kids and his horses, and he drives home from the game and he's home half hour after the ball game. So it was the perfect fit for him. And I think it was a perfect fit for us. We don't have Evan Carter playing center yet. Wyatt Langford's not going to be playing center, even though people want to say he is. Leote is the center fielder against righties and Pilar is against lefties. And I think I don't love a platoon situation always, but this one makes a lot of sense to me. Is Leote an all-star? No. Can he be above average performer against right-handed pitchers? I hope so. He hasn't been so far. I know I trust Pilar in the lineup with a left-handed pitcher up there more than I do Leote. I've always loved Pilar. Now, obviously, he's not the Pilar of 10 years ago. He made some of the best defensive plays of the season every dang year. But I like it a lot. Now, I don't like it 26, 27, 28. But to fill the roster, and by the way, you mentioned Janikowski. I love Janikowski. He's out there available to anybody. The White Sox got him, which is never great for your resume. But no, it's. I think he's until Evan Carter grabs a hold of that spot, if and when that happens. Pilar, I'll say, is a much like the Corbin pickup, a really good.
Could be much worse. Very serviceable.
Yeah.
He's very good buffer players till the next guy comes in. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Real quick predictions, Jeff, on this 3-game series. We mentioned the pitching matchups. Do you have the matchups who are going for us, Fernando? Because I know you said Malal in game 1.
Mally for the Rangers, and then
my bad.
You say Kikuchi for us.
Okay, who do you like in that one, Jeff?
Well, Kikuchi, I love and I really love. I love as a pitcher when he's good, and I love him more when he's horrible and against my team. Who knows what you get out of that guy? He could throw a no-hitter and he could be out in the second inning. I don't have a feel for him in the least. When the Astros made that trade, I was all over them. What a horrible trade I thought that was, and it worked out pretty good. He actually got pretty good. I think Mally's the same. I have freaking no idea what to think about Mally. I think he was really, really good, and he's been really good this year so far, except for the first start.
I'm putting you on the spot, Jeff. Call it. Who you got tomorrow?
I'll take us. I'll take us. We can't go 3 in a row as bad as we did in Seattle and not get to Kikuchi. I think we'll the right-handed bats will do some damage tomorrow. Wish we had Wyatt, but I'll take Mally to outdo Kikuchi, which is just fun to say. So I'll say it again, Kikuchi. But it's probably a toss-up.
All right, Fernando.
I'm a little worried. Kikuchi has yet to really have a dominant performance as an Angel. He had technically had a quality start on opening day, but he got lit up pretty early. I think the Rangers are going to win tomorrow. I think, I'll get to it, but I think they win tomorrow.
I think I have to agree. I'm not liking Kikuchi, even though he had 2 quality starts to start, but both he took a loss, no decision in the other one. So yeah, I'll take the Rangers in game 1. Game 2, who do you got, Fernando, or who's pitching?
I don't know who's pitching for the Rangers.
All right, I just pulled it up. Let me find it again. I don't want to lie to you.
We have Jose Soriano. So I don't care if they got DeGrom pitching. I got Jose Soriano taking the W.
I have to agree on that one, Jeff.
It doesn't matter. Jeff can say whoever the hell. Ryan's coming out of retirement. Great.
I had it here a minute ago. Look, just because you guys were so positive about it, I'm going to take my Rangers. I'm going to take my Rangers in a sweep. So you don't even ask me about the third game because I'm sick of losing and I want to do it. So yeah, we're going to sweep you all the way back to not LA. How about that?
Well, okay. I'll one up you on that one. So we lose game 1. And we have to win the final 2 in Texas to finish the road trip 5-4. So I'm going with that, baby. We take 2 out of 3.
And we got Jack Kahanowitz in the last start. So I like Jack Kahanowitz. I like his bounce back ability.
Who do you have?
Jack Kahanowitz.
I'm just making fun. Who the heck is that guy?
So you don't know him now, but you
Yeah. Do some baseball savant digging. You'll
see. Look, if he's on in that game, you guys are going to be hitting a lot of frustrating ground balls. I'll just say that.
You have that many vowels in your name, I'm out. I'm just out. I can't. I have
It's going to be like Jared Saltalamacchia. It's the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's too much.
There was like a rainbow on the back of the jersey because how long it was.
We had Kiner Falefa for a while.
Yeah, there you go. But all right, so we got a sweep predicted by Jeff, and then we got the Rally Chris special for Todd and myself. So all right, that sounds good. Yeah, either way, I'm projecting a loss tomorrow, but I think the next two we got you.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we're gonna have to talk some crap in one way or the other in 3 days.
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
Maybe Jeff likes to live stream a lot of the games on his X, and we'll let him plug himself in just a second. But so Todd does a post-game show after every night. Nice. I would like to suggest, perhaps maybe you guys, after that game on Thursday, maybe you guys can join forces for a small segment or whatever. You can call into the show or whatever, vice versa. And
I will look forward to that, or I will forget all about it if we get swept.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. What? I forgot.
I remember I said that.
I forgot the Rangers were on.
Exactly.
I was watching XFL. I was watching the Renegades.
Not going with the Bottle Bulls on that one?
Yeah.
All right. So it's a good show, Jeff. We really appreciate you joining. Yeah, we'll definitely have to hit you up for that post game or something, man. That'd be fun.
There. 50-50. I'll either be there or no.
All right.
That'd be fun.
Where can the audience find you, Jeff, for anybody who wants to follow you on X or whatever?
So my name is Jeff Bates, and on X, I'm at Jeff Bates on X, which is convenient because that's my name. Texas Clubhouse over on YouTube. If you like reading words, the Batesball Report over on Substack. There you go. We talk baseball and other stuff. Masters 1 day a year, which was yesterday, so you have to wait a while if you want to do
that. Okay. Sorry, I'm not much of a golfer.
Yeah, I don't know. It was the news yesterday.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right, Jeff.
Well, before we close out, 714 tickets, everybody. Use code HITI at checkout. No fees ever, like the other guys. Make sure to go to Brewheim in Anaheim, mention Halos in the Infield for some drink specials and Underdog Fantasy. What's the code for that, Todd?
It's Halo.
Code Halo for a promotion. But on behalf of all of us here at Halos in the Infield, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will do this again soon. Have a great day, everybody.